Morning, sunshines. It is very early. I think it is just almost 7 o'clock in the morning. Yo, this has been a crazy couple weeks. Hurricane Helene was a monster of a storm. A monster. I did not get the worst of this storm. There are people in many, many states whose lives have been utterly devastated, if not completely destroyed by this storm. So before I get started on my experience, I want to implore you to please hold these people in your prayers. Send out prayers for them because they need it. What I went through was a little small drop in the bucket. It was nothing compared to other people. So please give them all the love that you can. I know I certainly am. If you're new to the channel, my name is Marty. I am the owner of Flossom Stitches Crochet, and I am literally obsessed with all things crochet. Today is not going to be about crochet. Today is going to be a review recap of my experiences with Hurricane Helene, the good, the bad, the ugly, some of the insights that Hurricane Helene gave me. Hurricane Helene swept through the East Coast on the 26th of September. For me, she came in the middle of the night, and I was probably more terrified during that storm than I think I have been any other storm I've been in. I was terrified. I live in a trailer, okay? And the night before, when I was watching the news reports, I had a hard time going to sleep because I'm watching news. And here in Georgia, after Helene hit, matter of fact, it was before Helene even hit land. She was still in the Gulf of Mexico, hadn't hit landfall yet. And there were tornadoes popping up ahead of her. So she hit land in Florida, and not too far into Georgia, there were tornadoes that were coming ahead of her. It's one of the things that happens with hurricanes, especially really, really strong storms like Helene. And there were two trailers that were completely decimated. The winds just decimated them. One that hurricane picked up the trailer and the people inside didn't make it, and the other one was completely destroyed as well, and the people didn't make it. And as I'm sitting here, I was like, quit, get out of your head, it'll be fine. And then I woke up to my trailer shaking. I've been through some earthquakes. I grew up on the western northwest side of the country. So earthquakes are a thing, but I've never in my life felt that. I was terrified. I was scared my roof was going to fly off. I was scared that the trailer itself was just going to blow apart. I was scared of things flying through my windows. My bed happens to be right in front of a big window, and there's nowhere else to put it. Anyway, I was terrified. And then I tossed and I turned, and I spent about two and a half hours and at this point we didn't have electricity. When I woke up, because the house was rocking, the electricity was already out, and I heard the siding rip off of my trailer, and it sounded like it was right where my head was, like right there. And I was like, that's it, I'm done, that's it. So I went into the living room and tried to find a spot away from windows, as inside the trailer as I could. By the time the sun actually came up, the storm was gone. It was still quite windy. The siding did rip off right there where I was, and some of the skirting was gone. But as I looked across, the little trailer park that I live in, there were other trailers whose damage, even just right next door or right across the street, so much more than what my trailer got. So I feel very grateful, and at the same time very sad, because life just keeps lifing. Things get heavy. There are situations that suck, and many of them are directly linked to decisions that we make for ourselves. There are times I know in my life that I have put myself into situations that were really hard to dig myself out of. But when you have something like this that is completely and totally beyond your control, it feels so overwhelming. When you are barely making it work day to day and you barely have your needs met. When something like this happens, it's overwhelming. It's heavy. The weight of it can feel like entirely too much. And I'm not just talking about loss of life. I'm not talking about the physical human aspect of it. I'm talking about all people's properties are being destroyed. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just really sad. It's so very sad. My town was it was black. Our electric company, their entire infrastructure was completely ruined. They have had to go back and build everything out from scratch. Everything. And I'm unbelievably grateful for all of the support that our community has had trying to recover from this. Another thing that I want to say about, especially about the support in the recovery process, as I'm sitting here with no electricity and no water, my roommate, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that in just a minute, but my roommate blew my mind. But I remember thinking, like there's no support. Where is everybody at? I don't even know what to do. What is going on? I feel a little bit guilty about that. Never having actually dealt with a storm like this, I'm a little ashamed of myself, because I did get into the whole pity me. Why does life have to be so hard? I think that I'm hoping that that's a normal response, but normal or not, I don't like to get that way. What I did notice though is that when people were able to send support, when people were able to help others, they definitely have been doing just that. That brings to my mind when you're on an airplane and they say, put the mask on yourself first and then put it on your child. This was a real life example of why that is. You have to take care of yourself first so that you can help other people. You have to make sure you have everything you need so that you can help other people. And so I'm very grateful for that insight. I gained a lot of insights from Helene. That monster, I want to say, but I'm not going to say that on YouTube. Take care of yourself first and then help anybody that you can. Before I get on to other insights, I want to talk about my roommate. We've been roommates for 5 years, and throughout the 5 years, she has been saving all my milk cartons. I drink milk, she does not. But she's been saving the jugs, and she'll rinse them out, fill them up with water, and stack it in the pantry. Stack it in the pantry, stack it in the pantry. Pantry, aka laundry room. We're just gonna roll with it. I told her that I thought she was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like we don't need all of this. We do not need. She's like, we're going to need it one day. You'll be surprised. One day we could need it. What if there's a hurricane? We're so far inland. Like we're not going to have to deal with that. We're not on the coast. It's fine. We're fine. Matter of fact, I even threw some of those jugs away. I'm sure she noticed, but she never said anything. I left some, but they were piling up. Honestly, I am so unbelievably grateful that she's crazy. She saved us, y'all. She saved us. Those bottles of water gave us something to drink because everything in the fridge was gone. It was gone. We lost all of it. There was no running water. So not only did it's something to drink, we were able to wash up. It's important. We couldn't shower. So, what's better than a shower? What did my mama call that? I think she called it a whore bath or a spit bath or something. Anyway, you handle your stuff and you wipe down. We had that. It also gave us the ability to, kind of flush. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. If it's mellow, let it yellow. If it's brown, flush it down. We're going to leave that there. Mic drop. I am. Anyway, I'm unbelievably grateful for her because there's no way that I would have made it without that. It was days and days and days before we were able to even get anywhere. So had she not filled those buckets full of water, those jugs, the milk jugs full of water, I wouldn't have had anything to drink. I mean, it got so hot. And you're talking, we're in the middle of summer in the South. It's freaking hot. It was like 88, 89 degrees. And did I mention that I live in a trailer? It was a sweat box in here. A sweat box in here. To keep the heat mitigated a little bit, we opened up the doors. None of the windows in the house actually open. So we had to open both doors and barricade them so that the dog would stay in because he likes to run. Yeah, he's a runner. I guess you could call him a road dog. Anyway, I digress. But in doing so, that let all the bugs in. So that kind of helped with the heat. Not a whole lot, but it did. But it also let all the bugs in. And can I tell you, they thought I was lunch. They snacked on me for a week. Yes, they did. I am covered dang near head to toe with bug bites. So I realized that I don't like bugs at all. I don't know how. I have a lot of respect for people that work and have to deal with the bugs on a regular, all the time basis. I'm talking mosquitoes. You know, I'm sure there will be some comments about the South has a ton of bugs and I wouldn't live in the South because of the bugs. Let me tell you something. Mosquitoes are universal. They don't care about the cold. So it's not just in the South. They're everywhere. Mosquitoes are everywhere. For a week, they were in my house. I guess they were house guests. The point that I'm trying to make is I don't like them. I don't care where I'm living. I don't like bugs, especially the ones that bite me. I don't mind them if they're outside. Leave me alone, but not in my house, not on me, and don't bite me. I'm not lunch. That was just ugly. The bugs were ugly. The bugs were ugly, but there was some good too. There was some good that happened with Helene, and that's really what I focus on. That's what I'd like to focus on. Now, we already talked about my roommate and the water. That was amazing. That was such a blessing that she had the forethought to actually do that. I would have never thought about that. Another thing we talked about when, it's so hot and we left the doors open. Well, towards the end of the evening, we would go sit out on the back porch and watch the sun come down. That did two things. Number one, it got us out the house. Number two, it was cooler outside. And the dog got to spend some time outside, which he absolutely loves. Because he's a road dog, he has to stay on a leash. Bless his heart. Rusty, rusty, rusty. Anyway, watching the sun go down was amazing. And it was amazing because it was so beautiful. Now, I'm kind of ashamed to admit that I have lived right here in this house for April, no, I lied. March. March will be 5 years that we've been in this house. And Thursday the 26th, I think it was Friday the 26th. My days are gone. That first day that we didn't have power right after Helene left, that was the very first time that I had sat on my back porch and watched the sun go down. I love sunsets and I love sunrises. And I wish I wouldn't have taken me 5 years. I don't know why I haven't been out there. But I realized how much I missed it. Because as I'm watching the sun go down and the colors, the lights are just amazing. The colors of the clouds are so beautiful. They warm your soul. And it's a time I found myself, even the first night, I found myself watching the clouds go and change colors. It was almost like a light show. And I found myself reciting all of the things that I was grateful for. Gratitude. Gratitude is uplifting. By focusing on what I was grateful for, it helped me mitigate all of the things that were happening that were beyond my control, that I really didn't know how to deal with. The uncertainty of when am I going to be able to go back to work, because my job lost power too, so I wasn't able to work. I missed days of work for that. The sunsets were amazing. I'm going to talk more about the sunsets in just a minute. I mentioned my job. Like I said, the whole town was black. To be honest, a lot of the state was black, meaning had no power. If you were on well water, which I am on well, there's no water either because there's no electricity to pump the water up out the well. So no power, no water, no internet, no nothing. The whole area. It took days. I am so grateful that I have the job that I have. I cannot express that enough. They had a on Sunday, um, they had the employees come, and it's like a franchise, I guess. There's another one in another city that's, I guess, about 45 miles away or 45 minutes ish away. They had our sister store cater us. So we were allowed to bring our families and have a meal, an honest to God hot meal. And at this point, it had been days, but we were able to come and get a hot meal and take some home for later. And that affected me deeply. It was amazing. I finally got to go back to work on Monday. I gotta tell y'all, I work with some of the most amazing people. I don't have any idea how or what I did to be as blessed as I am, but I am so grateful because I am surrounded by some pretty amazing people, both online and off. Just wow. Just wow. Just wow. Anyway, I'm grateful for the people that I work with. I'm grateful for the job that I have. Yeah, just a little side note there. At any rate, I think I've kept y'all long enough. I mean, you know me, I can talk and ramble for freaking ever. Not gonna do that. But yeah, y'all have a great day. Bye now.